Hey guys, it's Gameface here and welcome back to a little bit of a different video. Today I'm going to be going through how to get David Beckham on FIFA 19. Now of course, if you're wanting him for a player career mode, if you want to do some sort of career mode using David Beckham, this is how you create him. You can also use him for pro clubs if you want to create a guy looking like him as well. Obviously I know there's usually quite a lot of people who want to have real life players or former players as their pro clubs guy, if you get what I mean. So this is how you create him for those of you who are wanting to know how to get him on FIFA 19. He's obviously on PES this year. Unfortunately, though, he's not a legend on FIFA at the moment. So instead, you have to create him, and let's go through the process now of setting everything up, getting all his details right and things like that. If you really want to take it seriously and do the right date of birth and those sort of things, I'm going to make him a right mid. I'm going to give him number 7, put him at Manchester United as well for doing this. Before we go any further, though, I'd really appreciate you guys hitting the like button on today's video and subscribing if you haven't already as well. That'd be absolutely brilliant. Trying to push towards 25,000 subscribers, so it'd be fantastic if you could go ahead and do that. So let's move on to his complexion. We've given him 6 foot and made the weight roughly right. I've gone with a slightly toned complexion, not like the palest complexion. I've gone with a slightly toned one for you guys to pick if you want to. As with most of these things on here, it's just basically trying to make it as close to the real life person as possible. We don't have loads and loads of really good settings to be able to do that. So these are the settings that I've gone ahead with. Obviously you guys can make any adjustments that you want to when you're creating them, but basically I've gone with a short haircut. I've gone with this sort of hair colour as well. It's difficult to get the hair colour right. Like I said before, there's not that many decent settings that EA have given us, so we're using kind of what we've got. It's all up for debate as to whether you think he actually does look like him by the end of this. Let's move on to facial hair. Again, it's up to debate. He's changed it that many times, but I've gone with full beard to try and make it look a little bit like him, and then with the darkest beard colour as well. But it's worth trying things out as you're going through these different options, guys. Let's first of all move on to kind of like the first version that we're going to try and create, then we'll make some adjustments towards the end. Brown position, I've gone with sort of tilt position is quite low. Protrusion is slightly towards in, but again, you can adjust these and try and sort of fiddle with them a little bit to try and figure out exactly what gives them the best sort of David Beckham look. I've put the separation and tilt at wide and down. Thickness I've sort of kept in between as well. Eye shape, you want to probably go for like small and down really. Again, fiddle around with these until you find the right sort of thing, but edge towards small and down I'd say, and then high and narrow for separation and height. But again, these sort of adjustments can be made towards the end of this video as well, which I'll sort of make little tweaks as we go through. Onto eye detail 1, again, some of these things don't really need to be tweaked that much at all, so I kind of just kept them roughly as they were. But you can make little adjustments here, like I did with the eyelid, making it wide and narrow. The eyes are pretty important. The eyes and the eyebrows really have to be right for David Beckham. Eye colour, not so important. Just kind of put whatever the hell you want. Onto the ear placement, I've gone with protrusion as in. If only that was the case with me. Onto the rest of the ear style, earlobe I've just sort of put towards no earlobe, which again can kind of be up for debate a little bit here, but that's just what I felt looked the most like him. Nose placement, again, fairly important. You get the eyes, eyebrows and nose right for David Beckham. They're kind of the most important features, I'd say, in order to make it a little bit like him. I'll show you a side view as well in a second, just so you can kind of see exactly what he does look like so far. But the nose adjustments, you can see those on screen as I go through them. Cheeks, I think in general with the cheeks you should just try and make them as small and narrow as possible. That's probably the best way to go really. Don't want to be giving him full cheeks, would not make sense at all. So that's what I do with that. The mouth placement, the mouth's so difficult to get right on this. The sort of adjustments that you can make aren't that great really. I've again gone with narrow, and that's kind of the main theme really throughout. Onto the lips, again straight and thin, usually what I've gone with. Again, it's up to you guys. The last thing you want to be giving him is some sort of like Joker smile. Obviously not going to make him look like David Beckham, but the lips again don't really matter as to actually make him look like him in game. It's mainly the eyebrows, the eyes and the nose if you do want to just focus on 3 key things. Let's continue to move on through these little adjustments though. As you can see, the lip style there just kept fairly similar. The jawline once again similar to the cheeks, kept with sort of narrow and quite defined. I think that's probably the best way in order to create someone that actually looks like him. Then if we move on to the chin, again, square and short is kind of what I've edged towards here. Protrusion, you don't really want to be protruding it out or anything like that, so you don't want to do that too much. But again, it just depends really what you think looks the best. Now to the adjustments. This is what I decided to do towards the end of doing all these sort of minor things. I decided to go right back through some of the key points and try and make sure that we got them right. Really looking at detail from like the side perspectives and those sort of things. Again, it depends how serious you want to take this, how sort of close to the real David Beckham you want to make this as well. well as to whether you want to bother doing these little adjustments or whether you're happy just making the eyes, the eyebrows and the nose look like him. Completely up to you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you have decided to go ahead and do this to create your own David Beckham. But you can see from the side view, it looks pretty realistic, I'd say, despite us having limited options to make decent enough changes. But I'm pretty happy with it, particularly from the side view. Yes, straight on, it doesn't necessarily look exactly like him, but this is, I think, as close as you're going to get on this game. You don't have that many sort of hairstyles you can choose from. You certainly can't, tweak it every 5 minutes like Beckham does as well, to the sort of styles that he goes for. But the eyebrows are really important. I keep saying eyebrows and eyes are the most important things, I think, to make it look like him. So keep going with sort of wide and down, and then again, the thickness is kind of up to you. But moving on to some of the other things now, the little details like the boots, again, depends what you guys want to go for. Pretty sure he wore Adidas through most of his career. I think it was the Predators, but decided to go just with some black boots on here. You guys can change it as you feel suited. Went with the long sleeve shirt. I was also debating whether I should put him in an LA Galaxy top or United. I went with United in the end. And now you can move on to the categories, and again, all up for debates. As I keep saying, this is all completely what you guys want to make him. If you are going to be doing a David Beckham career mode, a player career mode, however you want to do it, then again, it's up to you what overall you want to make him. Pretty sure he turns out as like an 86, 85, 86 on this, using the categories and the stats that I went with, giving his attack. But I'm sure you guys will have debates in the comment section below as to whether I've given him a good enough crossing, good enough shots, these sort of things, passing, etc. But you can just go through all the different ones and kind of adjust them as you feel necessary. The skill one, again, I went with pretty good dribbling. I think he was a decent dribbler when he was playing. It depends, once again, also actually what part of his career you're basing this on. Are you basing this on the start of his career, the middle, or towards the end point of his career, or as he is now? Completely up to you guys, and I'm sure you will decide what sort of stats you want to give him in-game. I personally just went for quite good stats. I went for him kind of in his prime, but looking a little bit more like how he does now, basically. So it was a mixture, really, a bit of a David Beckham hybrid, if you like. Shot power, giving it fairly high, 79 shot power. I don't think he was really known for that. Stamina was fairly decent as well. Strength, not so much, but he wasn't particularly one of those sort of players. Long shots, again, up for the debate as to whether he scored many good long shots. He certainly did score from the halfway line, but I don't think he was particularly known for it. He did it probably a couple of times, actually, so maybe he could have given a high shot power, to be honest. It's all up for you to decide. Acceleration and sprint speed, those sort of things, again, up for debates. But it's kind of once we go through these sort of movement type ones where it's kind of just up to you guys as to how fast you want to make him in your career modes. Obviously, you won't be able to do this in the pro clubs. In pro clubs, it'll be all down to how you train him up in games and things like that, so you won't be able to make these sort of adjustments. But for those of you that are doing the career mode, making like a David Beckham career mode or whatever you want to do, then these are the things for you. Aggression, again, could have been a little bit higher. I suppose he did sort of lash out against Argentina, but there's some debate that he didn't really do too much else throughout his career. So again, completely up to you guys. Interceptions, attacking position, vision, penalties, etc. don't really matter a great deal, but again, you can make those sort of adjustments if you choose to. I think at this point we've done a pretty good job, so I'm quite happy with what he's looking like right now. Like I said before, he looks better, I think, from the side on rather than straight on like that. But it's very, very difficult to get these sort of little details right on this game with the sort of ability to edit the face like we have. I'd like to see a lot more customization options for us, really. Again, very disappointing not to see that improved in this FIFA. But I think if you take a step back now, look at what we've sort of created, I'm pretty happy with it. Once again, you can make little tweaks as you choose to. This is a rough guide as to how you can create David Beckham in-game, and I think overall it does look pretty good. Like I said before, his side-on view is probably the best out of all of them, but I think this could be a pretty good option for you guys if you wanted to create him on this game for yourself using pro clubs, or whether it be a David Beckham type career mode, which might be quite interesting. Then to sort of view this guy as a player once you've actually applied it and saved all that. On the same customization menu where you've been on for creating the actual player, you just go across and then go on to edit player, and once you click on the edit player, you'll be able to find the guy that you have created at the club that you created him for. So if you did create him for LA Galaxy, he'd of course be at LA Galaxy, but we've created him for Manchester United, so you can go over to Man United and then you can find him somewhere on the list. Generally they're towards the bottom, but I'm not too sure whether it is always the case. I might well be always at the bottom, but he's certainly towards the bottom of that list. And as you can see, 85 rated David Beckham, he is now in your team. If you want to use him in career mode, then you have to use the changed teams that you've created rather than downloading the latest. You've got to use the customized ones in order to be able to find him. And that basically concludes this video. I wanted to just essentially go through a customization customization, all the different customization things, and show you how you can create your own David Beckham on FIFA 19. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. It's a little bit different. I used to do these videos not so long back, maybe a few years back I suppose, but I've just started to do them again. I might do one or two more possibly for FIFA 19, but this is one in particular I always feels like quite a good one because it does look so much like him. So pretty happy with it. Hopefully you guys are as well. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If we could try and hit 100 likes, and that'd be absolutely fantastic. Also, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already as well, as I try and push towards 25,000 subscribers. For those of you who are new to the channel, I have a Leeds career mode. I've also got a Real Madrid career mode as well, which you guys can check out if you'd like to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.